Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I apologize. I wasn't planning on shooting a video or anything right now, but I was watching some videos and stuff, and everything in this country is all about race right now, black and white and black and white. Well, police and black and white and everything. And I'm watching these videos about Rayshard, the guy that was shot at the Wendy's parking lot in Atlanta, in Georgia, where I live. And I'm listening. I've done my research. I went and I looked at all the body cam footage, all the Wendy's footage, the audio, and this is ridiculous. I just turned on what's this guy's name? Trevor Noah. Now the facts are this. This gentleman was passed out drunk in his car in the middle of the drive-through lane at the Wendy's. He was not sleeping in his car in the parking lot. He was passed out due to being intoxicated and had people having to drive around him. That's why the police were initially called in the first place. Trevor Noah's response is, why are armed police the first response to someone who's sleeping because they're intoxicated? You're passed out drunk in the middle of a drive-through lane. Okay, so anyways, the police get there. Everything is nice. All the footage shows that both are nice. The police allow the gentleman to drive his car over to a parking space. The gentleman drives over there. They start talking. Everything is great. They're standing there. The police actually leave him to go get the breathalyzer. No handcuffs, nothing, standing there. And he's being respectful, the police are being respectful. It comes to the point where the gentleman has blown well over the legal limit. He's obviously intoxicated. At this point, he has been proven to have broken a law. Like it or not. We're not getting to the end result of what all happened, but he has driven drunk. Obviously, no one drove him to the drive-through lane and then jumped out and put him in the driver's seat. So how many drunk drivers do children die from a year? How many people watching this has lost a loved one due to a drunk driver? So let's keep that in mind. All color aside, let's not talk about color. At this point, he is absolutely guilty of driving drunk. Something that kills people on a daily basis. Police are being respectful. The police officer says, sir, you've had too much to drink. I don't think you should be driving. Give me your hands and we'll place you under arrest. From that point forward, everything was okay. The guy had broke the law. Okay, whatever. The situation was fixed, everything was made safe, and he was going to be taken into custody, sleep it off, get probation, whatever. As soon as the police officer went to put him in handcuffs, not aggressively, didn't snatch him, didn't jump up and grab his arm, grabbed one of his wrists and said, sir, I think you've had too much to drink. I'm placing you under arrest. He immediately starts fighting the police officers. Stop. He's fighting the police officers. And when I say fighting, I don't mean resisting arrest. The video shows he socked the cops at least once right in the face. They pulled, and then in the audio, you can hear the police officer saying, they're not just immediately grabbing their Glocks and busting holes in him. They're saying, stop resisting, stop resisting. They pull out their taser. It shows in the video, they stick the taser to his leg and you can hear the officer, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you, stop resisting, I'm going to tase you. Like as many times as I just said that. That's how many times the police officer said it. And he grabs the police officer's taser And you can hear the police officer, let go of my taser, let go of my taser. It sounds like an adult speaking with a 2-year-old is what it sounds like to me. Like when you have to, if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. You have to constantly repeat yourself. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. That's what this cop is doing with this gentleman. And so they're in the middle of this, and all of this is taking place in a matter of seconds. So for all those people who don't have law enforcement experience or military experience and can sit here and on their high horse and say, well, why didn't they shoot him in the leg? They had a matter of split seconds where a gentleman who they knew to be as peaceful as could be has punched them in the face and is trying to steal their weapons from them. He jumps up, punches one of the cops in the face, knocks him down, has a hold to the other cop's taser, gets the taser, turns to run. The police officer pursues with his taser, fires his taser. It doesn't take him down. They keep running. Rayshard turns around, and a big thing, and this is what kind of threw me at the end, was that, he was shot in the back. And I immediately was like, whoa, that's wrong. The video footage, he's turned and looking back, aiming the taser at the police officer. And they're like, oh, well, the taser shot way over the cop's head. It's because he wasn't trained on how to use a taser. And he's shooting it backwards running. Does that take away the threat that officer should be ready for? Because the guy wasn't trained, so we should give him a few shots before we think he's a threat? So he turns, shoots, and again, on the video, you can pause this, you can rewind this, you can slow-mo it, but in the moment, that was a matter of that. From the time that he turned, threw that up, shot the taser, and the police officer grabbed his Glock and shot him. Police officer shot 3 times, hit him twice in the back, by the way. And it was the same police officer that shot him, that ran back to his car, immediately put on gloves and grabbed a bag to come back and administer aid. I mean, there is a problem with police brutality. And yes, police do react differently to people of color. But when you try to throw stuff like this in the front line and say, see, you're shooting yourself in the foot. No matter the color of this guy, he was a drunk driver, passed out in the middle of a drive-through lane, who punched officers, stole officers' weapons, fled from officers, and fired weapons at officers. And through all of this, the officers were pleading with him. The officers this is not an instance where, they detained him and held him down for 7-8 minutes or they he turned around and they pulled their Glocks immediately and shot him 17 times in the face. Like this is not one of those instances. Yes, those things do happen and the attention does need to be put on that. But this is, and for this Trevor Noah guy, and see what when he told the story, he left out the whole part about Rayshard punching the officer in the face, about Rayshard turning with the weapon. He told, Rayshard broke free with the officer's taser, ran, shot the taser off, and he made sure to make the motion up in the air, like he was celebrating. He didn't point it at the officer, he pointed it up in the air. And he shot it off, and he was shot 2 to 3 times in the back. That's the story they want you to hear. All the facts are, this guy fought with the cops, and the cops gave him every chance. Everyone was being respectful. Everything started when he stopped respecting the police officers. When he stopped respecting the law. Love it or leave it, the law is the law. You don't like it? Change it.
Yeah.